Hello everyone, my name is Jordan, also known as Mix, and today I want to teach you guys how to transition from modulation into a verse or vice versa. So right now I have these chords right here in this instrument that kind of sounds like this. Let me boost this up. So that's the sound, and I have this pattern right here, and I'm going to show you a little bit of a technique on how to transition into new chords, because this has always tripped me up for the longest time and I just wasn't able to understand how it went. But now through practice I understand how it goes, and hopefully this will be able to push you guys a lot further into your music stuff. So check out these chords. So one of the things that I noticed when it starts to go into the A minor and the A major, I'm not sure those aren't correct, but that's just what I see these notes as. So what I notice is that there's a little bit of a gap here, right here, before it transitions into bigger chords. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my quarter notes, and I'm just going to drop a note on A4. Now this is already highlighted for me because I double clicked and it made a note for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Command C and then Command V. You can do this on a PC with with Control C and Control V. And what I'm going to do next is hold Shift and just hit the down arrow key once. What this does is that it takes my note that I had, copies it, and transposes it down 12 semitones, or a whole octave. I'm going to do this again. So now I have my 3 bars, and I'm going to take it off my little note parameters, so it gives us our note lane. And as you can see, there's already a failed attempt of what happened, but now we have this. So now we notice there's a static note and it's not chopped in any way. We're going to use this note to pitch it up to allow some more modulation and movement to position it higher in the sound. You'll understand what I mean. So what I did is I just hit Command B to get my little drawbar. You can do Control B to get the same thing as well. But I think Control only works with PC, and Command works with Mac. So if I say Command this, just replace it with the Control. So I drop down one of my anchor points to merge it with this one, and now we have this. As you can hear, it merges better with the sound. If you want, well, you have to be kind of cautious too. You don't want things to be chopped so much that when you play a stagnant note like this, that it doesn't merge with the rest unless it's moving with the rest. It's kind of like a marching band. You have to be moving with the drummers or the snares or the clarinets or whatever. You have to follow their movement. Kind of like the same thing with the notes. It kind of has to move with the other notes, so it has to be modulated in some way. So I pitched it down, and we're going to see whether it sounds better higher or lower. To me, I like it more pitched up because it sounds easier to merge in with the other chords. That pitch down just just lowers the whole notes and gives me a new sense, like, oh, like that. So the higher is like ah, and it just like stays like that. So it's easier for me to hear it like that. The next tutorial I'm going to show you guys is that I'm going to show you guys how to beef up your drums. The beefing up part really doesn't matter unless you use the right samples. And actually, there's a huge... Oh no, it crashed. That's what happened before my software crashed. So anyways, I'm just going to show you this real quick because it's... I need to go higher than that. I'll just go up here. So what I'm going to show you guys is that I have found... There's a SamplePack that I found, and it's like 1.8 gigs free sounds, royalty free sounds, and it's made by a good company. SampleStar creates a lot of the deadmau5 and a lot of the more deep house chords that you hear a lot. Like I'll play a few. They have packs for this, and they're really good packs. I mean, they have progressive electro house. Nobody has progressive electro house that's free. And if you do, it's like very crappy samples. But these samples are very nice. They hit very hard. With a lot of other drum samples now, they are uncompressed or they're amplified in some way. These samples are amplified, but they're amplified to the point to where they're not distorted. So let's see if we can hear those all the way. Like, check out the melodics of this one. It's crazy. A lot of like rich source sounds you can sample from and resample and then transpose those and use them for whatever. That's crazy. That is crazy. So I'm gonna put this link in the description. Sorry about that. I'm gonna put this link in the description, and then you guys will be able to download this sample pack for yourself. I can't believe they're releasing 1.8 gigs. That's ginormous. So you do need to have Facebook just to log in, like their page, and then you're able to get a free sample pack. So that's flippin' sweet. So I'm gonna show you how to create everything you need to know. And yes, I would like to say that. Everything you need to know about, not everything you need to know, but just some tips and tricks. So like I have a blank drum rack, and I'm gonna go into my drum hits. And I'm only going to use stuff from within this collection. So if you need like hard hitting like bass drums, I'll go to my progressive electro. Or if I need like some deep drums that don't have a lot of characteristics, I'll go to my melodic. So I'm going to use the melodic tech promo pack. I'm going to go into my bass drums, and I'm going to browse around and see what sounds good. That, and turn this up all the way. So now we have something like this. I like this number 4, so we're gonna place that in here, and I'm gonna rename this to kick 1. Next, I'm gonna browse around for other bass drums that are more hard hitting. I like that number 3, so I'm gonna drop that in here. And I'm going to call that kick 2. Now I'm going to look for a sub patch, and we can make this later on. It's not that big of a deal, but it does come into play when we make the notes for the drums. The number 2 has a large ooh sound in the beginning, so I'm going to rename this kick sub. There we go. Now with that, we have that. Place that over here. Okay, now that we have that, I'm going to load up my hats and my snares. So I like number 2, so I'll use that. And I also like number 5, we're going to use that one. Hi-hats. Ooh, the number 1 can replace that number 2. I like that. So now that we have those, I'm going to rename this as hat 1. And I'm going to rename this as hat 2. So next I'm going to load in some snares and claps. I like that number 2. So I'm going to rename this as snare 1. And I'm going to go to my deep tech. And I'm going to go to my snares and claps. The number 4 has a delayed, and I'll show you how to fix that here in a second. So I'm going to call this clap 1. And the final thing we need for this are some hits. You can't go wrong with hits. A hits and a cymbal. So I'm going to go to my cymbals first. That number 3 is good, so I'm just going to drop it in here. Call it cymbal 1. So now that we have that, I'm going to close that, and I'm going to go over to my hits and my progressive electro. That number 1 sounds pretty cool. So I'm going to just call this hit 1. And for my number 4, yeah, I'm going to take number 4 as well. So I'm going to rename this as, nope, I'll just rename this as hit 4. I didn't mean to do that, but oh well, now it's hit 4 forever. So now I'm going to show you how to create the drums that are supposed to be more swang. So I'm going to go up to 4 bars with this. Hit 4 for the note notation, and I'm just going to drop 4 bars all the way. Just click and drag. And on every other hit, I'm going to drop a kick and a sub. So here, and then here, here, and here, like every other kick. If you get tired of this, you can just, once you're like halfway through at 3, if you're creating a 4-bar loop, just go to 3 and then copy all the space in between and hit Control D or Command D, and it'll just duplicate it across. So if you want to create that sub, you have to go to 16ths. And I'm just going to create a low kick above every other double kick. So now we have something like this. And I'm actually going to switch the order of the kicks by going here. So this kick sub and kick 2. So now we have that type of drum movement. I'm actually just going to boost this up a bit so I can hear more. So now that we have like our basic drums, I'm going to go in here and edit a lot of that shit. So I'm going to go to my kick 1, turn on filter, take the frequency. I'm going to take the frequency about 85 Hertz. And I'm going to do that with all the sub. Except that first one, this first kick is a low pass, so only hits at that low 85 Hertz. For the sub, I'm going to leave it on low pass. Okay, so that other one, our first kick actually needs to be a high pass 24. And our kick, our sub needs to be at low pass. And I want to set that to 84 Hertz. So it only focuses on the sub part. Next, for my kick 2, I want to turn the filter on, and I want to set it to high pass, and I want to set this to 85.